right then we weren't. And there were batteries in the car, but we had it turned off. But the weirdest thing was the light, the indicator light that it was on was still going, and it would drive around by itself. That used to freak us out. We could take the batteries out and it'd be fine, but as soon as you put them in, it would drive itself. And I mean, those are two probably strange ones. Just trying to think. There were tons of stuff we did, but for the sake of not boring y'all, I'll probably just move on. So that's just a couple of them, and let's see where I'm at right now. It fell off. After going through a few houses, we ended up at this main white house. About when I was 9 or 10, we used to jump on the trampoline every night, and every night we'd hear my dad and my stepmom fighting. My dad would usually be drunk, and they'd be screaming at each other, but we were too scared to go in until they told us. It got so bad that when I was 11 or 12, my dad threw a chair at her and walked out for good. I've only seen my stepmom 3 times since. And I say that, just imagine, I know a lot of y'all, like, y'all probably come from a broken family, but imagine one of your parents, one that was loving and caring about you and everything, and you can remember just being outside and just sitting on like the porch or whatever, and then them telling you stories and them telling you a whole lot of things that you would know in your life, and then at night having to listen to them constantly fight and losing them. It was really hard on me because I didn't just lose my stepmom. I lost my stepmom, I lost my brother, and I lost my dad. I haven't talked to my dad once since. The summer after all that went down, I actually waited by the phone. Like, I would wait sometimes just for him to call, but he never did. He had her number, he still does. And on some occasions, I've been talking to my brother because I have his kick name. I've called him, I visit him in the summer sometimes. And when I'm talking to him, my dad, he won't even say anything to me. He'll just be like, "Hey, you said that once." And every now and again, he'll ask my brother Sky, like, "How is Jeremy doing? Have you talked to him lately?" That's it. Nothing else. It's not like he's trying to come and see me. And he hasn't paid child support for me in years now. He's got definitely over 10 grand. But I'm gonna keep going on. Like I said, I've only seen her 3 times since. She's got her own kid now. I found that out about 2 years ago. So I probably won't ever get to see Michelle, my second mom. Mama Michelle. That's one quote that I threw in there because that's what all the kids that she took care of called her. It wasn't just me and my brother. Every time that we had a family friend with kids, or we had neighbors or anything, she would always end up helping take care of them. She was so loving. She would take in anyone as her own. It's one thing that I'll definitely give her, no matter who it was, no matter how old you were. She was like a mom to everybody. So I stayed with my dad for a few weeks, and in that time he really changed. He started drinking heavy again, he started doing drugs, and we moved houses. I stopped seeing him soon. I haven't seen my dad once, and barely seen Sky, and it really upset me. I spent my whole summer waiting for him to call, but he never did. And when I finally talked to Sky on the phone after searching for so long, all my dad said was "hey" in the background. By that time, I had moved out of Charlotte, North Carolina with my mom. We used to live there with her mom and me. I hated, I hated Charlotte because I had no place to go after school because my parents were working, so they would drop me off at the YMCA. Now, if you don't know anything about Charlotte, North Carolina, if you're not from this area, it's one of those places where it's kind of built up in the city, all the buildings and all is good. I mean, it's one of the high points of the Carolinas, definitely. But it's not a good place that you want to be. I mean, there's gang violence. everywhere that you go, if you go to school, you go to like some kind of after-school program, you're probably gonna have to fight. That's what I had to do. You could just be playing basketball, and then somebody else would want to take the ball from you, and then you'd be, even if you just wanted to play a game, you'd always end up getting in a fight, no matter who they were, no matter what race they were, no matter what age they were. That happened to me, and I'm probably gonna get to it here in a minute about something else. If I don't, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Yeah, so they dropped me off. You had to fight every day, no matter what. If you looked at the wrong people or did something that they didn't like, they'd come after you. I've been strangled, almost drowned, jumped. Eventually, got taken to a different daycare. It was a daycare literally 5 feet from my house. It was across the street. But I still had to fight occasionally. And when I told my mom and grandmother about what had happened, how I used to have to like try to fight, and I used to come home bleeding, having bruises all over me, being cut up just because of everything. We were in the store when I told them that, and they laughed at me. They laughed at me and basically told me that I was full of shit. Back home was no better. I didn't know it for a while, but I could tell there was something up between my mom and her mom. I found out that my grandmother had put my mom on the streets and left her to die. Then CPS got her and put her in an orphanage. And as if they did it, oh, that is, as if what they did there wasn't bad enough. My grandmother had put her in an insane asylum and told her God family, that's the house that I was in the last couple videos, those, I call my God family, I may call them my aunt or my uncle, they really take care of me when no one else does, but there's a whole situation with that I'm going to get to in a minute. So, yeah, they told my God family that, they told the people there that my God family didn't exist. So, my God grandmother, if you want to call her that, she knew my grandmother from work and helped raise my mom. After that, she tried to get involved, but my grandmother said my mom wasn't hers or any of theirs problem. It took them years to get in touch, but they finally talked to my mom and got her out. So she had permanently changed